All right. We have a new meta weapon for PvE, and this one is going to surprise anyone out there that's ever used a GL because it's basically a combination of all the most powerful GL perks we've ever used all on one weapon. So this is going to be a very nice addition to your collection if you're grinding Revenant this episode inside Destiny 2. It's called the Liturgy, and you'll get it from doing Onslaught throughout the entirety of this season. I guess you should call it an episode, but I still just can't help but call it a season. Right? And the reason why it's so crazy is because it's the 2-shot grenade launcher, so it's got double fire, right? So it shoots 2 projectiles, which gives it a much bigger radius, especially if you're shooting it from a distance. Those 2 projectiles split and go really far away, which allows you to blind a much bigger radius of enemies, which is really nice in PvE, especially in challenging content when those enemies are super lethal. And on top of that, it has chill clips. So this will stun champions, both stunning overloads instantaneously and stunning unstoppables. And with the double shot, I haven't been able to test it myself. I did get a roll, but with the double shot, has potential to maybe even just one shot if both projectiles hit the unstoppable, instant freeze and then stun. So that actually could be really crazy. And we have a buff to this perk right here, Slideways. Now Slideways used to have like a 3-second cap where you would slide, it would reload the weapon, then you'd have to wait 3 seconds, which made Slide Shot, which sounds like the same perk, but it's not if you haven't paid close attention. Slide Shot is significantly better because it has no cooldown, and Slide Shot is the perk that we have on the really popular grenade launcher, the Ignition Code, and that's why it's so good. But now that Slideways has been buffed substantially, it's on par with Slide Shot, and the fact that we have now a double fire GL that has blinding, just like Ignition Code, and Slideways, which is effectively Slide Shot. And on top of that, now we have Chill Clip to go with it. This thing is just nuts. I mean, this is definitely a god roll to chase for, and you can't get a crafted version of it. You will have to grind Onslaught and get random rolls for you. Eventually, the god roll might drop for you. You never know. I mean, we're back to the RNG days, the ways of old in Destiny 2. And on top of that, we also get an origin trait here, which is final blows with this weapon periodically spawn dark ether charges. Charges can be detonated early with the weapon's fire or by coming into contact with them. Doing so refills weapon from reserves. So an origin trait to pair with everything we already talked about already. So very nice weapon here. Quick launch in the barrel if you can possibly get that. And then we're going to go with a handling masterwork because obviously we're going to reload with Slideways. Then we have actually some difficulty picking out which weapon mod we want to go with here, but overall there's a few different options that kind of tried and true and used quite a bit. You got your quick access sling, which could work. There's obviously a few mods. They have some strengths and some weaknesses, like for example you could use tactical, but you don't really need that +6 reload speed anymore because you're just going to be using Slideways the whole time. So really, it's kind of hard to pick out which exact mod I'm going to use. I'll probably throw a quick access link on it, even though it doesn't sound all that exciting, especially when we have some of these new mods out there. But the reality is, if you use something like Heavy Ammo Finder Enhancement, you're not really getting kills with a blinding GL. You're using it to blind enemies, stun champions, things like that. It doesn't really add clear a whole lot. It's not like your chain reaction, wave frame GL, right? This is a different utility inside Destiny 2. So just be mindful of that when you do decide to put a mod on it. And if you do think that any of these other perks on here are interesting, feel free to comment down below on what roles you might be keeping, what god rolls you potentially see. I see that we've got some new perk here. We got Rhyme Stealer in here, destroying a stasis crystal or defeating a frozen target with this weapon grants you frost armor. And then we have Lead from Gold, which is always really good in challenging content, especially where you can run out of ammo, especially when you're using a Slideways GL where you can just spam shots so much. Running out of ammo can be a real problem, so could be potential for a Lead from Gold Slideways roll. I'd hang on to that as well on top of a Chill Clip roll. If I got a disorienting Slideways Lead from Gold, you better believe that's sitting in the vault, even if it does just collect dust for a while. And then alternatively, you see the chain reaction is here, but because it's not the wave frame GL, not quite as enticing in my opinion. I think the wave frame is a little bit better when you're going to use chain reaction with this. But there's a few different roles, a few different perks in here that I'm sure some of you will hang on to. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. I just wanted to bring you this PSA video, as I know a lot of people are going to be jumping into Onslaught throughout the entirety of this episode. Revenant, I want to make sure that you don't delete some of these liturgies, especially if you find a really good god roll like this one here. This is a really nice addition to anyone's arsenal at this point in time, even if you already have that ignition code like myself. I'm going to be dismantling the ignition code when this thing drops for me. So let me know what you think about that, and make sure to subscribe and smash the like button. I'll keep you up to date on all the news in Destiny 2. I'm out here escaping the hurricane. That's why the webcam looks a little scuffed. Maybe the audio is a little off, but overall we're just playing it safe. So we're in a hotel right now while this massive hurricane goes right over where we live, and then we'll be heading back shortly. So wrap on that. I'll give you an update on everything on Twitter as well, so make sure you're following me over there, and we'll be live on Twitch covering the new season stuff. So I'll see you on twitch.tv/lucky10p. Thanks for watching. Later.